All right, welcome back to the SuperCoach Enough channel. In this video, we're looking at the Bulldog Project after round 14 of the 2023 NRL season. And as you can see, not the best week for us with the 898 in total, which was well down in the overall round ranks. And we've managed to hold on to our top 80k position, but just hanging on by the skin of our teeth. So if we have a look at the side, you can see some pretty lackluster performances. Reed Marnie with a 33 unfortunately went off with a HIA, which I think that was in the first half as well, and ultimately I guess might have been one of the main factors in the Bulldogs not quite falling over the line against the Roosters. They looked really good for about 60 minutes, and then I guess the Roosters just had a bit too much for them and overcame them in the end. But still a good game. Lots of positives to take out of it. And we move on. So Harry Grant with the 34 as well, backing up from Origin, was a bit flat. Payne Haas, so 62 for someone backing up from Origin compared to what else we got. We absolutely take that. Ruben Cotter, so 49. I mean, he put in such a massive effort in Origin last week. You can almost forgive him for that. Max King with a 38 on the bench for us. Probably wasn't his biggest effort, but he's done the job for us this year. And Harry Edwards with a 36. So he sort of filled in a bit of dummy half for Reed Marnie, which sort of reduced his runs. Not really a ball running dummy half, more of a distributor. But definitely would have, done his fair share of work in the middle. So that's fine. We hold him. Dave Fafita with a 16 was obviously a bit disappointing. But, he did play 80 minutes in Origin. It was always a question mark whether he'd back up. But obviously they found an opportunity to rest him and they took it. Britton Nikora, though, with a 69, that was a really good return for us. Jacob Preston with a 60. So, he just keeps pumping out those solid scores. We like that. And Curtis Moran obviously got some inflated minutes thanks to Marnie's injury off the bench and did quite well with 42. So into our halves and Nathan Cleary, obviously a bit of a recurring theme here with Cleary missing out due to the hamstring injury. So obviously trade out this week. But we do have some flexibility in our side and we do have some options about which way we can go with that. Nico Hines with a 90. So, obviously if we'd played him as captain over Cleary, that would have helped out a lot, but it is what it is. Matt Burton with the 64. So, he's really just is cranking out those scores. I guess the concern with Burton in your side is that if Cleary's out, does Hines slide onto the starting team in the 7? And then does Burton take his spot as the bench utility? Obviously, the versatility and X factor he provides is a big advantage in that sense for New South Wales and for himself. But for us SuperCoach coaches, it can be a little bit of a concern. Carl Oluwapu with the 26. So, he's just going to keep slow burning until he finds his feet in the first grade. We're not too stressed about that. It's the Bulldogs project. We're about giving the dogs a go. So, he'll be there for the foreseeable future. Charles Nickel Clockstad, he basically carried our whole centre wing line. As you can see, Lemuela with the 38. And then, don't know what happened. He had a bit of a brain fade with leaving Tabuai Fido on, but also not trading back out of Jacob Kiraz. So I did remember in my main side to update my trade. Clearly forgot to in the Bulldog Project team, but that's okay. It happens. So we did end up a player down. We would have got what score? We probably would have got Oluwapu's 26 as an auto emergency, but we still would have missed out on playing a number. So, like a 48 from Alamotti would have helped. Or if we had gone, Harry Edwards on the bench, we would have got an extra 10 points over Oluwapu, that sort of thing. Excuse me. Joey Manu with a 41, so we were hoping he wouldn't go too big against us. And it worked out okay in that sense, but obviously for SuperCoach, you'd love to see some points there. And Dream Buller, so I guess basically carrying the the fullback position at the moment. 111 was an absolutely magnificent return from him. And he's going to probably almost be a keeper, I think, for the rest of the season. All right. So in terms of our trades this week, obviously we need to get out of Nathan Cleary. But I guess we do have the advantage of players like Matt Burton, Joey Manu that we can cycle through, and we can almost access any position we want in our side. So I'll just cancel this, hit reset all that. So if we have a look at the most popular, or I guess the highest scoring players, we do have Cody Walker at the top. Obviously, he has benefited from playing an extra game. So this is something to keep in mind as well with your South players, is that some teams have had 2 buys. The Rabbitohs have currently had 0. Um, so we could bring Walker into our side in 5'8", but he doesn't play round 16, so we do want to try to target that buy a little bit more. Jermaine Osako, I guess in the same sort of boat, doesn't play round 16. We've got Cleary's one we're trying to get out of, obviously. We've got Fafita. Dylan Brown's in a bit of trouble, so we might give him a miss. Campbell Graham and Latrell, sort of similar story to Cody Walker, so we'll probably pass on them. We could come back to Jermaine Hopgood, perhaps. We could, if Noah Blake doesn't play round 16, so we'll probably give him a miss, as well as Sean Johnson. Reece Walsh will play Origin for Queensland. We're pretty set at fullback. So then I guess the next obvious one is Big Tino. And, he's a player that I'm really keen to get in all the different formats. So, I mean, we could do that. We could go Cleary out, Burton, and then we could slide Schuster in here. And that would then allow us to get Big Tino in. So I guess even strengthening our second row and front row even further. So now you can see we've got Haas, Cotter, King, Fasu, Malawi as the front row options, and then Fafita, Tino, Nikora, and Preston as our back row options. And then, we do have to play one of Schuster or Oluwapu, which isn't ideal. I guess the other option, we could go via Ben Travojevic and bring in Joey Manu into 5'8" and get Burbo, go back there. Schuster would stay in the second row. But that's also going to be dependent on how Kiros pulls up. Or we could also look at trading in this space as well, because currently we might not have enough in round 16 in the centre wing, but we can always fix that next week too, I suppose. Yeah. Well, we'll do that trade anyway. We'll actually want to play Manu in the centres. Mm. This is the part where having these dead rookies like a Skelton or a Moran, probably not quite dead, but pretty limp, isn't very helpful. Yeah, I guess we should have gone Blake Wilson in this spot too, but that's that's just me thinking out loud. All right, well, we'll make that trade anyway. And then I can't see who we've got for round 16. I'll just have to count. So we should get Marnie back. He won't play this week, perhaps with the concussion, but he'll be back for round 16. So we've got one. They won't play 2, 3. The bench 4, 5. Moran maybe 6. Burton maybe. Well, actually, we won't count Burton. 6, 7, 8. Those three all miss out. Did I say before? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we do have 13. Oh, that's assuming Skelton plays. We'll probably change Skelton for Blake Wilson. We might have to actually do that this week if he's named to play again. Yeah, so you'd imagine Turbo would play if he's available for New South Wales. So yeah, I think we can get away with that one trade. I don't think there's any emergent uh, trade-ins in terms of things like break even and that sort of thing. But obviously, the stock market video will come out later this week, which we'll obviously go through all that during that time. And yeah, so I guess in terms of captains, vice captains, so Nico Hines, I think, is the obvious captain shout. Although he's playing against the Storm, but could be up for a big one. Yeah, we'll go with that anyway. And the vice captain, so yes, I did go Buller in my main sort of team, and I think that's a pretty good shout if we're being honest. So we'll just swap Manu around. Uraz. Get him off the bench. Get Grant. So, well, Marnie's not playing potentially, so we might have to go with Edwards, perhaps. Oh, Cotter's not playing either. I haven't thought this bit through, have I? Oh, we might have to do another trade here somewhere. Do we get out of Cotter? He won't play this week. He won't play next week. Yeah, I reckon we do it. And then what we can do in this situation, so we can probably look at getting another gun in the 5'8" slot. So he doesn't play around 16, but Oluwapu will cover. So maybe we do get Cody Walker. Definitely gives the team a little bit more balance. Although the front row is still pretty stacked. I need to. That's the other player we could look to get into. Is young Finu from the Eagles, if he's available. Or if he's named in the second row, we may have to get him. Which doesn't help the strength of our side this week, but does help with the balance, I think. Yeah, so essentially we've gone Cleary to Walker and then Cotter to Big Tino. Yeah, so I guess the other one I'm sort of speaking out loud at the moment is if we upgrade the Tino trade. Where is he? Amiela Fano. So, yeah, if he's named to play on the edge again this week, I definitely would consider that. But it seems silly having so much money on the pine when we're so far behind in the rank. I think we'll go the two guns. We'll work it out as we get through. Yeah. So, all right. So now we've got Big Tinos in, Max King back into the starting lineup. Bird on the bench. Cody Walker. Who does they play? They play the Dragons. So I mean, we could go Cody Walker as the vice captain. Yeah, we could probably live with that, I think. Yeah, so that's probably how the team. Oh, hang on, I've only got 3 reserves. I still need a 4th. So, yes, if he's playing, we'll go Schuster against the Dolphins at 4 Pines. The other option is Alamotti. He's just sort of sitting there doing his thing. But I think other than that, we're pretty well set. All right, so we'll leave it at that anyway. So if you've got any suggestions on alternate trades, feel free to throw them in the comments section. It's always great to hear from the viewers. And also, if you are enjoying all the content, subscribe to the channel. Keep up to date when all the videos are coming out, such as the round reviews, the stock market video, the NRL SuperCoach preview. Um, as I've sort of alluded to in other videos, there will be a sort of State of the Union type video later this week as well. So keep an eye out for all that. And other than that, thanks very much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.